Apple just killed the one feature we have been begging for on the Apple Watch for literally half a decade, but the crazy part is I am not even mad about it. For months, the rumor mill was absolutely convinced Cupertino was secretly testing Touch ID directly inside the digital crown of the upcoming Apple Watch Ultra 4. Unlocking your watch without a passcode, verifying Apple Pay instantly, securing sensitive health data with a fingerprint. It all sounded like the perfect upgrade. But according to a massive wave of fresh supply chain leaks, that dream is completely dead. Apple scrapped it. Why? Because they simply ran out of physical space inside the chassis for something much, much bigger. What we are actually getting instead is a top-to-bottom sensor redesign that might finally solve the biggest complaint about the Ultra, while unlocking the holy grail of smartwatch health tracking. Let us break down exactly what the supply chain is saying right now because things are getting wild. If you look at reports coming out of Makotakara and the LEC, Apple is abandoning the traditional sensor layout we have seen for years. They are reportedly building a massive new circular ring containing 8 individual, highly specialized health sensors. 8. That is a huge jump over what is inside the current Ultra 2. This completely revamped hardware array is strictly focused on doing one thing that no other smartwatch has managed to pull off reliably: real-time blood pressure monitoring. Now I know what you are thinking. We have heard blood pressure rumors before. Mark Gurman has been teasing this for a while, but this time the actual manufacturing pipeline is backing it up. Instead of just looking at long-term trends or guessing based on software algorithms, DigiTimes is reporting that this new 8-sensor system actively analyzes how your blood vessels expand and contract with individual heartbeats in real time. If they actually pull this off and clear the massive hurdle of FDA regulatory approval, you could eventually receive instant high blood pressure alerts straight from your wrist without ever touching a traditional medical blood pressure cuff again. Honestly, I will believe it when I see it actually working flawlessly on my own wrist, but you can see why Touch ID had to die for this. You just cannot fit an advanced biometric fingerprint scanner and a massive 8-sensor blood pressure array into the same tight internal space without severely compromising the battery. Speaking of compromises, what is the one feature you would gladly trade away just to get multi-day battery life on a smartwatch? Let me know down in the comments because Apple engineers had to make a really tough call here. But here is where the Ultra 4 rumors actually get exciting for daily wearability. The single most common criticism I hear about the Apple Watch Ultra has absolutely nothing to do with software or sensors. It is just the sheer size of the thing. While plenty of users love the rugged titanium design, it sits way too high on the wrist. It catches on jacket sleeves, it feels bulky at the gym, and it screams for attention in formal settings. Well, reliable leaker Shrimp Apple Pro recently hinted at some major chassis changes, and now multiple supply chain sources confirm Apple is aggressively shrinking the physical footprint. The Apple Watch Ultra 4 is supposedly getting a 15% thinner chassis. Just think about that for a second. Shrinking a high-end sports watch by 15%, while cramming in a brand new, highly complex health array is an absolute engineering nightmare. To make this happen without crippling the device, Apple is completely changing the display tech. Ross Young, who is practically never wrong about Apple displays, has pointed toward a next-generation OLED panel for the Ultra line. This new screen pushes the display bezels much closer to the edge, creating a significantly larger viewing area without making the actual watch face any wider. But the real magic is the variable refresh rate. This new OLED panel can reportedly drop to extremely low refresh rates when you are not actively raising your wrist, sipping barely any power at all. That is going to be incredibly important because driving an 8-sensor health array and a bigger, brighter display is a massive battery drain. So how is Cupertino going to handle the thermal throttling and crazy power demands? This brings us to the internal silicon. The word on the street, backed by hints from Ming-Chi, is that the Ultra 4 will be powered by an entirely new S11 chip. Now, whether this S11 architecture is actually utilizing the incredibly expensive TSMC 3nm yields, or just heavily optimizing the previous generation process remains to be seen. But the raw efficiency improvements have to be substantial. If the S11 chip cannot manage the heat and power properly, we are going to see a brutal battery life regression, and Ultra users simply will not tolerate having to charge their watch every single day. The legendary multi-day battery life is the entire reason normal people gladly pay the premium Apple tax for the Ultra over the standard series watch. Maintaining that baseline multi-day endurance while shrinking the physical device by 15% is going to be Apple's biggest engineering flex of the year, if they manage to pull it off. We are expecting seamless integration with the brand new iPhone lineup when this officially drops later this fall. It should perfectly slot right into the existing Apple ecosystem, acting as the ultimate companion device, especially for fitness tracking, sleep monitoring, and extreme sports. But the pricing strategy is honestly the absolute wildest part of this entire leak cycle. With a completely redesigned thinner titanium chassis, advanced variable refresh rate OLED screens, an entirely new 8-sensor health tracking hardware ring, and a custom S11 processor, you would absolutely expect a classic Cupertino price hike. But current supply chain whispers suggest Apple is keeping the retail price exactly the same as the previous Ultra models. They know the premium smartwatch market is getting incredibly crowded with competitors, and jacking up the price right now would definitely push potential buyers away. Do I think the Apple Watch Ultra 4 is going to be an instant buy? It honestly depends entirely on how accurate that real-time blood pressure monitoring actually is, and whether that 15% thinner titanium body makes it comfortable enough to wear to bed every single night without noticing it. If it finally feels like a normal luxury watch instead of a miniature smartphone strapped to your arm, it might just be the best daily driver wearable Apple has ever made. But what do you guys think? Is a significantly thinner design and advanced blood pressure tracking enough to make you upgrade this year? Or are you still holding out for the ghost of Touch ID? Drop your thoughts below.